Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Daphne and this is part 3 of our Figma beginner series. In part 1, we covered how to create a file, how to add shapes, text and images. And in part 2, we covered components, variants and auto layout. So if you want to check that out, the link is somewhere there. So go and watch that first. For today's video, I'll be walking you through how to create your first prototype. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe because we'll be dropping more tutorials like this. Alright, so let's jump into it. But just to add though, this is a very basic prototype tutorial. If you want something more advanced, we actually have some of our Discord streams available in our YouTube channel and we will be uploading more advanced tutorials in the future. So just stay tuned for that. Okay, so you'll see right here, we have what we've created over the course of this series. So this is something we created in part 1 and this is something we created in part 2. So today we'll be putting all of this together into a very simple prototype and we will be utilizing all of these components. So before I do that, let me show you what it's supposed to actually look like. First thing, you want to enter into prototype mode. So select up top over here. So just to show you, this is your design settings and this is your prototype settings. So once you enter prototype, select your frame, but just take note that anything you want to create into a prototype, it has to be a frame. Okay, so once it's a frame, you'll see that these little plus nodes will pop out and even in your components as well. So we want to connect this first screen to this screen, and to make it kind of more believable, you want to enter it into the button, right? So select your button and hover over the node and then just drag it over to the next frame. Here you can toggle with any of these settings here, but today I'll just show you how to use this push animation. After you select the first animation, right, it will actually duplicate in the next time that you pull the nodes. So just take note of that, because sometimes if you want to make those changes, you will need to manually change that after you've done the first one. On this other screen, you want to kind of return to the first screen, right? So on the back button, you can hover on that and then just drag it and it will show the same settings, but now you want to push it the opposite direction. And let's try this out and see if it works. So a quick shortcut is to hold shift and space to open up the prototype preview here. So let's see if it works. Yeah, now you can see that it's actually working. So now towards the second screen, there are kind of a few fun interactions that's happening here. So one of the most common things that you want to do on a screen typically is a carousel. So here we have like just a very simple card carousel going on. One problem sometimes people ask us is how to actually make it scroll in a prototype. So it's very, very simple. So make sure that your bounding box for where the cards are actually living in the frame, basically your bounding frame, is the size of your screen's width. And you want to actually make sure that the contents of the contents inside the frame actually exceeds that bounding box. Otherwise, there's actually not enough space to scroll. Okay, so let me just show you what that looks like. So I'll open the preview again. So now you can see that it scrolls, but if I start to hide the screens and there's only 2 left, it wouldn't scroll. So that's why you need it to make sure that it exceeds that bounding box. The thing though you must make sure is in your prototype mode, your scroll behavior is horizontal. Anything else and it would not move that way. Okay, so let's just try and see. So let's say you move this to vertical, then this will just not budge at all, and you'll see this exclamation point to kind of tell you that that's impossible. So just move this to horizontal and it will work. Okay, so that's kind of it for the carousel part. Now let's look at the like button. Okay, so in your icon here, you already have 2 variants here. So just select the default version and then just drag it to the selected version, and then it will automatically show change to. So this means that when you click into it, it will change to the other version, and just leave it as instant and then just repeat this for the selected version. Okay, and then let's test that again and see, and it should work just fine. Moving on to the tab section here. So in our sample, you can see that in the selected mode, it has a check mark. So let's add that into your variant here. So just click your tab go to main component and add variant. Then you already have this check mark here, so just copy it and paste it directly in here. Then just adjust this. You can adjust the size of the check mark. Then just change the fill as well. You can add a fill and just change the colors of your contents inside to maybe black. Okay, just change everything to black, and that's your selected state. The fun thing here is let's try doing smart animate and quick, and then do the same for the selected version. Now let's test this out. And there you go, there's a slight little bounce when you select. Let's go through the entire flow together and see how it looks. So just same thing, select your screen, preview it, and just double check that, make sure all your connections are working, all of your prototypes are active, and yeah, everything is looking really good. And there you go, you have created your first basic prototype. If you're a beginner and you've been following us throughout this 3-part series, congratulations. I hope you found this journey rewarding for you, and hopefully you've learned something new. If you want to keep learning more Figma tutorials and Figma stuff like this, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more. See you!